Hi everyone. We are on to the video for quiz number three. When we quiz number three. Um, this one is the previous two quizzes covered 7EE1, that first standard. This quiz actually covers two standards, 7EE2, which is basically the rewriting the percents as uh, the 120% or whatever. Um, and 7EE3, which is just doing like real world problems with both of these kind of applications. Um, these problems as well, I think I made this quiz myself last year, and it made them very particularly applicable to what the test is that we're going to take. These are very much like test questions. So if you can do well on this, if you can get these down, you'll do great on the test. These are some of the hardest test questions, I think, too. Okay, let me share my screen here to start. All right, again, I'm going to try to go through it pretty quickly so I don't waste your time, but if I'm going too fast, pause me. You can always text me, reach out, ask me any questions you have, and be happy to cover whatever you need. This is the answer key. I'm doing this so I can upload it after too. Again, I'll identify which ones are which questions. This is a 7EE2 for sure. Also 7EE2 for sure. I think this one's 7EE3, both parts. This is 7EE3. I think the last one is 7EE3 as well. All right, it's not too important though. Let's not worry about it too much. Let's go through these problems. As you're doing these guys, when we're doing the test file, I know you won't necessarily have the test in front of you, but please make sure that you are trying to identify these problems, even if you can't annotate it. This identification is really important. I think it's a really key part of understanding a lot of these problems. All right, so reading the first problem, it says Natalia bought a new phone that was 25% off the regular price of $164. If a 4.5% sales tax was added to the cost of the phone, what was the total price Natalia paid for it? So a couple of questions whenever we get one of these types of questions. You gotta identify, first of all, the original. The original is gonna be 164. All right, now, any keywords? Off, because when we're subtracting, 25% what? 25% of 164. Always trying to identify what it's a percent of what. Oh, it's really visible. All right, now, sales tax. When we do a sales tax, it's added, and again, 4.5% of what? 4.5% of the cost. You don't know what the cost is yet. Now, the cost is going to equal the original minus the decrease. In this case, it would be 164 minus 25% of 164. Remember, 25% is the same thing as 0.25 or 1/4. And 1/4 of 164 is 41. Track that, we get 0.23. So now, that's not my final answer yet. Why we attempt to see. We have not yet done the sales tax. Okay. You got what's the problem that's defined? That's the total. And the total is equal to the cost plus tax. In this case, that's 123 plus 4.5% of 123. Stop for a moment. Right now, I can choose my answer out. It's only because this is a multiple choice question. Most of the time, I'll want you to work through this. And I'm going to work through it in a second. But I want to point out that even with what I know right now, I know my answer. Because I know I have 123, and I know I'm adding, so it's going to be larger than 123. Can't be A, that's way smaller. Can't be C, that's only 123. Has to be B or D now. Now look, 4.5% of 123, that's not a lot. It's not going to be a ton. Definitely not going to add 20. It's only added a little bit, so it's definitely going to be B. I'm sure that B is going to be our answer. Let's do this out. Let's see what it equals. 123 plus, remember, 4.5% is 0.045. That's 123. Plus, let me get my trusty calculator. Is this one? All right. 0.045 times 123. 5.535. Out of 123, just 128.535. All right. Well, remember that with money, you can't have three decimal places. You got to round it to 2. Well, it's some rounding with 3. Oh, it's 5 or larger, so we round up. So it's 128.54. And that is the correct answer. So again, be careful here. Make sure a lot of these problems are tricky because they're multi-step problems. It's a problem that I think has usually the problem that most people get wrong on the test because it's a multi-step problem. Be very careful with it, okay? Now, with something like number 2, it's also a multi-step problem. It's actually pretty similar. It says after baking cakes, Shweta, who was actually one of my friends in college, Shweta has 7/8 pounds of butter left. She used 4/5 of the remaining butter. So what is that remaining butter? That is 4/5 of 7/8. One of the key mistakes I see here, people will put 7/8 minus 4/5 and forget that has to be 4/5 of something. Okay, just like a percent. It's just like a percent. It's of something. It has to be a fraction of something. Some of percents can always be written as fractions. All right. So now it says she has this amount of butter left. She's 4/5 of this amount to bake cupcakes. But any special amount of butter left after baking both the cakes and the cupcakes. So remember, the amount of butter left is basically the same thing as in the total, and we're decreasing, so we're using some of it. Instead of doing original minus a decrease. Well, in that case, 7/8 would be the original. Minus the decrease would be 4/5 of 7/8. Now we can't say of, we need to make that into math. Of always means times. 7/8 minus 4/5 times 7/8. All right, well, now I can leave this, and a lot of you put this, I think, got my correct. So great job with that. But really, to make it easier for ourselves, let's just multiply it out. Let's do it out. 7/8 minus, okay, 4 times 7. Oh, wait. Always look to see if you can cancel. Cancel 4 and 8. 4 and 8 goes divided by 4. 4 divided by 4 is 1. Divided by 4 is 2. So 1 times 7 will be 7 over 5 times 2 is 10. B. 7/8 minus 7/10. All right, count denominator. What would count denominator be? So 8 and 10, it would be 40. All right, how do I get from 8 to 40? Times 5. 7 times 5 is 35. How do I get from 10 to 40? Times 4. 7 times 4 is 28. So 35 40th B minus 28 40th B is going to be 7 40th B. Again, anything from basically this line on down would have been fine. These are all equivalent expressions for this. But I like to make it as simple as possible for myself, especially because in part B, it makes part B really easy. In this case, 7/40 B and B equals 12, just plug in 7/40 times 12. Again, you can cancel. 40 and 12 can both be divided by 4. 10 3. 7 times 2 would be 21 over 10. 2 and 1/10. What's the unit though? Let's remember we need to have a unit. Pounds of butter. 2 and 1/10 pounds of butter. All right. So again, very similar to the other percent problems, but in this case, we went using percent using a fraction. I'm going to move on to the next one. If there are any questions, again, you can pause the video if I'm moving too quickly. We're not in class, so I don't need to ask you to slow down. But please make sure that you are following along and let me know if you have any questions at all. All right, number 3. The population of the country in 2010 was P. In 2019, population was 1,750 more people than 2.5 times as many people as it was in 2010. Which expression represents the population in 2019? All right, so let's identify our original was P. Was more, so plus 1,750. 2.5 times as many people as it was in 2010. That means 2.5 times P. Just be 2.5P. So I think it's going to be the 2.5P plus 1,750. Oh, there we go. See right there. For a problem like this, you could also honestly solve it by choosing a value for P, an easy value like 10 or 100. Don't choose one. One won't work. If you choose 10 or 100, then you can solve it and then plug in for each of these and see which one you get the same answer. But I'm not going to worry about doing that right now. Let's move on to number 4. This is another one from 7EE3, okay, that last standard. Again, though, it is honestly very similar to the percent ones. All right, Juhi bought a model rocket kit online. The price of the kit was $144.99. The state sales tax of $8.25, 8.25%, was added. Then a $25 charge for shipping was added after that. What was the total amount Juhi paid, including tax and shipping costs? Round your answer to the nearest cent. All right, so let's identify our original. Sales tax is added. That's 8.25% of 144.99. And the $25 charge is added after that. All right, so my total, let's have the word equation to make it easy, was the cost plus the tax plus the shipping. In this case, the cost was $144.99. The tax was 8.25% of $104.99. And the shipping was just 25. So again, translate it into math. 0.0825 9 plus 25. Calculator. 0.0825 times 144.99. I got 11.961675. Alright, plus 25 plus 144.99. 181.95. 1675. Oh, round your answer to the cent. So it's a 5, looks to the right. And I got to stay the same. We're going to stay the same. 181.95. All right, now it says, should he receive an allowance of $30 per week? How many weeks will it take you to purchase the kit? So when is she able to purchase the kit? When she has more than 181.95. So think about this for a second. In week 1, you have $30. Week 2, you have 60. Let me put some category over here. Dollars. In week 3, you have 90. In week 4, you have 120. In week 5, you have 150. In week 6, you have 180. A lot of you will put 6 weeks and you'll be wrong because in 6 weeks you'll have $180. You still won't have enough because you'll still be $1.95 short. You have to wait until the 7th week when she gets $210. Then take her 7 weeks. Which skip. So again, for something like this, make sure to break down to a table or something like that. Know that it doesn't have to be exactly equal. Some of you are gonna put like 6 weeks and 2 days and stuff like that. But it does need to be a full week. All right, on to the last page, basically the last question of those 4 parts. All right, this is a very common type of question. Basically giving us a geometric shape and having us use geometry formulas to combine algebraic terms. Very, very common. We'll see this a lot. So make sure you can master it now, because again, I think it will be on the test, something like this. All right, it says a farmer owned a rectangular plot of land. Plot was 7x feet long and 12 plus 3 plus x feet wide. What a fully simplified expression representing the perimeter of the plot. Now, first of all, anytime I get something like this, I like to draw it out. All right, so now 7x, 12 plus 3 fourths x, 12 plus 3 fourths x. Perimeter, well, it's just when we're adding everything up. That's 2 times the width plus 2 times the length. That's 2 times 12 plus 3 fourths x plus 2 times 7x, which would be distribute in 2 times 12, 3 times 3 fourths x plus 14x, 24 plus, now 2 times 3 is 6 fourths x plus 14x, which would be 24 plus 1.5x plus 14x. Combine like terms. 24 plus 15.5x, or remember, commuted properly can be the other way around, 15.5x plus 24. That should be your final answer, 15.5x plus 24. You could have also just gotten that by adding up all the sides. Some of you are incorrectly adding and multiplying 2 times 3 fourths and getting 2.5. Be very careful there. Other than that, this one's pretty straightforward. Part B, you're just gonna have to plug in. If you had 31 halves x plus 24, that's also fine. Or 15.5 x plus 24, that's also fine. Okay, it doesn't matter if it's a decimal or fraction. It doesn't matter if it's an improper fraction or mixed number. But most of the rest of the stuff does matter. But again, we're just going to plug in here. Start by rewriting your original expression. Rewrite 15.5 x plus 24. Then plug in 15.5 times 3 plus 24. When you multiply by a mixed number, you need to make it into an improper fraction. The next do is 30 plus 1 is 31. 31 halves times 3 plus 24 equals, over here, 31 times 3 is 93. 93 halves plus 24 equals 3 divided by 2, 2 goes in the 9 4 times. 1, 46.5 plus 24 equals 70.5. And what's my unit? Feet. Remember, perimeter is just feet. Go to 70.5 or anything like that. That's absolutely fine. It should be 70.5. All right, lastly, and this is the toughest part, area. Now we know the perimeter area, length times width. A lot of you don't know how to multiply numbers like these together yet, though. So the length is 7x, plug in. Width is 12 plus 3/4x. My numbers outside parentheses, and you distribute it, and you draw your arrows. The my area is 7x times 12 plus 7x times 3/4x. That's important because 7x times 12 is 84x plus 7 times 3/4. Here, 7 times 3/4. 21/4. 5 1/4. X times x is x squared. So 84x plus 5 1/4 x squared. Again, I like to list it in descending order of exponents. So 5 1/4 x squared plus 84x. All right, one last question to go. We're gonna plug in here for find the area if x equals 8. So again, start with what we are given. Any moment. 5 1/4 x squared plus 84x. Plug in 8 for x. 5 1/4 8 squared plus 84 times 8. Well, 5 1/4, let's make that back into 21/4. 8 squared is 64 plus 4, 8, 3, 4 plus 3 is 7. All right, remember, 64 can be divided by 4. 4 divided by 4 is 16. I have 21 times 16. $336 plus 672 is 1,008. This time, however, it's not feet. Area multiplied feet times feet is feet squared. All right, let me know if I went too quickly or if there's anything you have questions about, you're not sure about. Don't worry too much about these last two here. I know these are very confusing. The rest of the quiz is what's really important. So if you can do this, I know again, this is showing out a lot of work. I need you guys showing more work. Even if it's not necessarily this whole amount. Not gonna do that. All right, cool. Actually, I don't know why I even need to do that. Yes, don't worry about this. All right, let me know if you have any questions about anything else. Good luck studying. Have a great rest of your night, 7th grade, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye, everyone.